Hello everybody and welcome back to Manifest with Finesse on YouTube. My name is Manifesting Gaia. That is my Twitter, TikTok, podcast, and Instagram. All the links are down below. And my affirmations list and audio rampage email is down below. And if you don't know, yesterday was my birthday. Thank you guys for all the messages that you guys sent. Thank you for anybody who's going to say happy birthday. Last year for my birthday, on my video that I made, I asked you guys to work on self-concept for at least 2 weeks. This year, what I want you guys to do is no wavering for 2 weeks. Anytime you think against yourself, your reality, what you want, you flip it and stay on track. You reaffirm or revisualize or just live in the knowing of you having what you want, you being a beautiful master creator. That's what I want from you guys this year. So no wavering for at least 2 weeks. And today I'm going to be talking about how to manifest good grades. You have seen people manifest everything else, and good grades is where you draw the line. It's not because it's good grades. It's because of your terrible self-concept. It could be a polka dot dress. I could ask you to manifest a polka dot dress, and you'd be like, oh, I don't know, but how, but I can't, which we're going to talk about in a minute. But is it possible to manifest good grades without studying? You asking that question doesn't sound like it's possible for you because you're putting requirements on a limitless world. You say the only way to get good grades is to study or to tire myself or to exhaust myself. And if I'm not doing that, then I don't think it's possible. That is your beliefs. So if that's what you think is true, then no, it's not going to be possible. It doesn't matter what I think. It doesn't matter what he, she, they, them thinks. It's what you think. Do you think it's possible? Let me ask you, is it really possible to manifest good grades without studying? It's like when people ask, is it really possible to manifest money without working? Is it really possible to manifest a job without applying? Well, my clients did it, but also they weren't asking that question. They didn't ask me if it was possible. They said, this is what I want to manifest. Tell me what to do. And I said, change your identity. And it was bam. They weren't skeptical of it. You want to manifest something you don't even think is possible? You can't half think you can do it and half think you can't. You're either able to or you're not able to. And if you're asking about limits, it doesn't sound like you're able to. It's like manifesting anything else. I don't care what your parents are saying. I don't care what your guidance counselor is saying. I don't care what your report card is saying. I don't care what your friends are saying. I don't care what the university or school you want to get into is saying. Are they creating your reality or are you? Well, a lot of you are letting them create because your belief system is based on what other people tell you or other people's beliefs. That's still you creating because you adopt it and you transform your identity based on other people's wants, needs, what they say. So it's still you at the end of the day because you let them run your reality because you're scared of them. They are just reflecting the stories you keep telling or the stories you have about them. You say, oh, I have terrible grades. My parents are mad at me. My parents yell at me. All my friends are doing better than me. The school is going to say they can't accept me. And then they reflect. Everyone's you pushed out. You tell yourself you're going to do bad. And then you say, my parents only want me to do good and they're not happy if I'm not doing good. You're too conflicting. Your stories are too conflicting. That's why reality is not in your favor because you don't have a thinking pattern that's in your favor. I've personally manifested good grades a lot over the last couple months. Posted one on Twitter. She gave me 40 extra points randomly. I didn't ask for it, didn't take action, didn't study more. It was just added on. I just logged in and saw it. I did do blanket affirmations for it like a week or two before that happened. Just like, oh, I always get good grades. My grades are always good. But it's important to say, like, because a lot of y'all hear, oh, I did this to manifest, and then you start doing it and it doesn't work. I did not have negative stories. I did not have opposing thoughts against my grades. I don't have resistance because I'm so detached. Like, I don't really care about them like that. Like, they're just what they are. My life isn't consumed by numbers. I don't care what the numbers say, right? And if I don't like them, I just change them in my mind and then I can just affirm. So if you're not there, the last thing you need to be focusing on is 3D. A lot of you try to do techniques even though you're resistant and you have all these negative stories. You need to address what's going on within yourself. And I've also manifested turning in things late and still getting A's, even though the school's policy is like, oh, if you turn something in, it's like, I think it's like 20 points a day or something. I don't know. I really don't care. Like, there's no point for me to know. There's no point for you to know, oh, how much points do I get off if I fail, or how much will my grade drop if I fail? Because if you're in a reality where you pass, you wouldn't need to know that information. That's low self-concept behaviors. You looking up what's a school I can get into with the lowest GPA possible. That's low self-concept behaviors. Because if that was not you, you would not spend your time looking stuff like that up. So I honestly don't even know the late roll. I know they say they take off points. I don't know how much. I don't care. because I still end up with an A anyways. I know I built the knowing in myself that I can hand something in late and I'll still be good. Again, I didn't have to study for those results. I didn't have to ask. I didn't have to beg. I didn't wonder. I didn't question. I didn't doubt. It just happened. And when it just happens, I don't question it. I don't sabotage it. I don't say, oh, I don't deserve this. I don't deserve this. I say, well, it's just grades. It's just numbers. Like, you can make the numbers say anything you want them to say. Pixels on a screen or lettering on a report card. If it can say 70 on my report card, it can say a 95. That's how you have to think of it. If it says what I don't want, then it can say what I do want. It's your reality. The only reason your grades are what they are now is because you tell yourself that. You look to 3D and then reaffirm it so it stays that way. Oh, you see a number you don't like in the 3D, you say, oh my god, it's this number, or that means I failed, that means I'm not good enough, oh my god. Then you start thinking about your parents, you start thinking about getting in trouble, you start thinking about, oh, I'm not going to be able to go to the soccer game, I'm not going to be able to play sports, I'm going to be in academic probation. That's why it stays. That's why you have a 70, because you tell yourself. It doesn't matter what's on the paper. Like I said, I don't care that I saw late. I still handed my work and I know I'm going to get a 95. So there is no circumstance that you guys can tell me, because like I said, I've changed them myself. It's not something you should be seeing as a process. You're not forcing your grades to change. You're not forcing your teacher to do anything. Once you have the identity, everybody outside of you conforms. I don't care what has to happen. I don't care if they just delete the grades. I don't care if they say you don't even have to take the test. That happened to me too before. Like, I was out, I missed a test. I really didn't want to make it up, but I was like, all right, let me go to the teacher and just say I can make it up. And she was like, don't worry about it. Like, I'll just give you 100 or whatever. And I was like, okay. I mean, I low-key had a relationship with her, but it wasn't even like that. She was like, don't worry about it. So you can manifest that too. You can manifest better relationships with your teachers. You can manifest your teachers, you know, doing you little solids. You can manifest your teachers not caring. Like, they'll literally give you A's just because. Like, that was literally just because. There was literally no reason why I shouldn't have taken it. I honestly don't think she felt like grading it either. She didn't feel like grading it as much as I didn't feel like taking it. That's how you should view your teachers. Like, they want to give me A's because it means less work for them. And it makes me happier. That's how the world works. When we say with no harm to none, for the good of all, that is what that means. For the good of all, no harm to none. It makes their job easier and it makes you happier, and then it makes your parents and your friends and everybody just wants to celebrate you. You need to reinforce you're in control, not your teachers, not your report card, not a piece of paper, not an object that doesn't have a life. You are in control. So me personally, I don't try to manifest like, oh, I got an A on this test and I got an A on this test and this test, because I know it can cause resistance and unnecessary micromanaging. I don't like to manifest in steps for that reason. Number one, I think it's too much work. I don't need to manifest every single little test to be different, because I'm indifferent towards the reality. Like, I don't care what this test says. My end goal is to have an A. So in whatever means necessary. Like, I don't care if I hand in something late and the school said I'll lose 20 points every day that it's late. The school doesn't create my reality. So for me, it's like I didn't try to micromanage like this late assignment, I'm getting an A. This one, I just have the knowing. I just say, okay, no matter what, like, that's how it is. Like, no matter what, my grades are fine. Or with the extra 40 points I got on the last assignment, that was the last assignment of that semester. It wasn't like in the middle. It literally happened the last day. I went to check in my final grades and I just saw the extra points. A lot of you guys with low self-concepts, it would have been like, it's the whole semester, nothing has changed, we have one more assignment, the grades are literally due tomorrow, what am I gonna do? Nothing has changed. And then that wouldn't have happened for you, because all you tell is negative stories. I didn't care that it was the last day. I didn't care that I didn't have any extra points before. I didn't affirm to change my 3D. I always do it for me. So when I said, oh, all my grades are good, all my grades are A's, I moved on. I said it, and then I just didn't care about 3D because I decided. And then I went in and saw it. That's how you have to move. Like, number one, I don't even care if it was a semester from a year ago. It doesn't matter. You can still change. And that's the thing with low self-concept, is you're never going to be able to think higher about reality than you think about yourself. And you think about yourself low. So you don't think it's a possibility that they could go back and change it. Just like how people can manifest social media fame. How many times have you seen a video pop up on your YouTube homepage that's 2 years old? There is no time limit. I don't care if it was from a year ago. There is no time limit to change your grades. If you manifest fame and you're like, I haven't posted on social media in 2 years, who cares? Like, we see stuff from years ago all the time. Who cares what your grades were years ago? Time doesn't exist. You have a story right now about the past that says it's unchangeable. All you're changing is the story you have about past grades, future grades, and present grades, because they're all just present grades. Belief controls the 3D. Stop letting 3D control your belief. You won't move if you're the same and you're waiting for change. Change waits for you. So me personally, I just go to the end. I think it's kind of like a waste of time if you're like, oh, every single grade I'm changing, but you still have a bad self-concept about your grades in general. So if the whole semester, instead of like wasting it on little things, I just say, all my grades are A's, all my grades are perfect, I always get straight A's, whatever. And then by the end, everything will change, because I'm spending that time rebuilding my self-concept, rebuilding my belief, rebuilding my stories. So then even if I do get a bad grade in the middle of the semester, I'm not focused on the middle. So to me, it's like, well, I already implemented the story so many times that I believe it, right? It's like, all right, I got a 40. Well, if the final outcome is me having A's, then it doesn't matter what I'm seeing. If it's not what you want, then it's not your reality. If it's not what you want, then it's not done manifesting. You guys have to stop letting your physical reality control you. If it's not what you want, why are you telling yourself, this is my reality? I thought you passing was your reality. I thought you having high scores was your reality. Nobody else is upholding the story but you. 3D isn't going to uphold the story. Your parents aren't going to uphold it. Your friends, your teachers, your report card isn't going to uphold it until you can uphold it independently of 3D. They are just numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Did that scare you? Did that give you anxiety? Did that make you feel like a failure? No, because the numbers don't matter. I don't care if it's letters. I don't care if it's numbers. I don't care what it is. They are not in control of you. Separate your identity from numbers. So number 1 is self-concept. Do you see your parents walking around being defined by the grades they got in high school, being defined by the grades they got in college? No, they moved on. You have to move on. Again, stop letting yourself be defined by anything outside of you. If it's outside of you, it doesn't matter. This includes your grades, your parents, your GPA, what your friends are getting on their tests, the requirements for the school you want to get into, whatever it is. Speaking about a school that you want to get into, this is exactly why I don't focus on the middle. Because you're thinking about it from a low self-concept point. You don't need X to have X. You don't need good grades to get into a good school. Didn't y'all see my success story where I had a pretty average GPA, like average A, B, C, and Harvard still had a meeting with me? Because I didn't care. I don't care. I don't care if I have 45s out of 100s. I don't care. It doesn't define what I get to have. Nothing in your reality. It doesn't matter if you're broke before you can be rich. It doesn't matter if you've been cheated on your whole life, you can have a committed relationship. It doesn't matter if you've been unemployed your whole life, you can have a stable job. It doesn't matter if you have bad grades, you can go to any school in the world. You can go to an Ivy League. There are no requirements to receive anything in this world, especially requirements in your 3D reality. No effort is needed, no action is needed. There is no specific way circumstances have to look. You can only see less than 1% of the world with your eyes. So stop basing, oh, well, I only see this much of the world, but I'm still going to make this much of the world my entire identity. But my point is, if your goal is to get into a good school outside of what your grades are right now, then focus on the end. Focus on already getting the acceptance letter for that school. You don't have to micromanage, oh, I passed science, I passed math, I passed history, I passed this. Then, oh my God, my application went through. They're looking at my application. They're approving me. I'm getting the letter back. I'm opening the letter. They're going to accept me. That's too much. Just say, I'm good enough to get accepted anywhere. They're accepting me everywhere. The school I want has already accepted me. The school I want is built for me to go there. They're in love with my application. No matter what grades I have, I stand out. A lot of you, because you have low self-concept, if you're being honest with yourself, you only want things to look a certain way, or you only want to manifest certain things because you think, if I have this thing, then I'll believe in myself. Then I'll believe I can have it. That's not how it works. You don't even believe you can have the thing you don't really want. Again, if your true desire is getting accepted into a specific school, but you're like, oh, let me manifest good grades so that I can get accepted, you're struggling with the good grades. So you think if you manifest good grades, you're going to think you can manifest that. You can't even manifest the desires you don't really want, because it's not about the desires. You're changing your identity, change your self-conception. If you did, you wouldn't have to go through 10 different hoops just to have one thing. You can't spend your whole life trying to change everything so that one thing can be perfect. Just go for the one thing. I didn't care what the requirements was, because when it comes to me, there are no requirements. That's how you have to live your life. When it comes to me, there are no limits. Limitless. There are no requirements. There is no circumstance that I need to go through before I can have what I want. You already have what you want. If you want to go to the school, it's because there's a version of you that is already accepted, that is already there. That's all you're tapping into. The only thing that separates you is your mindset. You current day, you in this present moment, don't think you can go. So you have to change that story. I can go. That's the only thing you're doing. Because let me ask you this. What if your dream school didn't care about your grades? Or what if your parents didn't care? Or what if there was no GPA requirement or a grade requirement that you had to meet before you got accepted? What if your teacher just canceled all the bad grades? Would you still go for the good grades, or would you not care? If the school said literally any GPA you have 100% acceptance rate, you wouldn't feel like you're gonna die because of your grades. Or if your teacher said, all right, I'm gonna cancel every bad grade you guys have, would you be like, no, I want to keep my bad grades because I need to manifest it to be A's? No, you would be like, all right, that's fine. Exactly. You just want the security. You just want to know that you're good. You want to feel like you don't have to worry. You want to change it because you're anxious and you have a low self-conception. So if that's the case and reality reflects who you're being, then the answer is to change how you view yourself. Again, it has to be independent of the 3D. Your job is to create it inside of you. I've also had people come to me and be like, well, my teachers sabotage me. My teachers don't like me. My teachers do this on purpose. That's your story. You're not even in school right now as you're watching this, or even if you are, you're not in that teacher's class right now. Like, I don't care even if you are, like, why are you carrying stories that you don't want to experience? That is your story. They're going to keep showing up like that the more you reinforce it. Reality shows you reasons to keep thinking the way you're thinking. So unless you think different, you're going to keep experiencing the same. Change your stories. Start with what I said. They're just numbers on a screen. I'm not defined by anything. I can have everything, right? I'm the smartest person. I'm the best person. I'm top of the class. Your worth cannot come from numbers. Just like people who manifest money, your worth cannot come from the numbers. Just like people who manifest a specific person or something, your worth cannot come from something that's on your screen like a text or a call. You say to yourself, if I don't see this, if I don't get this, then I'm a failure. You are always a winner. Identity selection. You have to start implementing the stories that you are the top of the class. You are valedictorian. You are the best. You are number one. Your parents are so proud of you. Your parents are proud of you no matter what. It's not conditional. Nothing in this world is conditional. You don't need something to be something. You don't need something to have something. None of that. You are who you say you are. I don't care if you had to do summer school. You still are top of the class. You're not living in that reality anymore, so it doesn't matter. So now that you have that person, that version of yourself who is top of the class, who is number one, how do they feel, think, act, and behave? What are their attitudes towards school? What are their attitudes towards themselves? What is their identity of their intelligence level? They feel accomplished. They feel relaxed. They feel confident. They feel like they can create any reality that they want. So you just conjured up that person in your mind, that version of you, because that is you right now. If you just thought it right now, it is you right now. You can't feel bad and think bad only unless you have grades. You can't be like, I'll only feel good if I see my manifestation in my physical reality. No identity should be tied to your 3D. The grades only will change if you assume they change outside of your physical reality. You know my 3-step formula of self-concept. Change how you view yourself, which is what I just talked about this whole video. Change how you view school itself or grades themselves. Stop saying school is hard. Stop saying it's difficult. Stop saying it's so easy to fail. Stop saying it's so hard to understand this subject. Stop saying that. Change the stories. Then change how you view your specific desire, which is your grades. You only have A's. You pass everything. You get A's all the time. You have the highest points, the highest marks, the highest grades ever. You are the smartest person. The teachers only give you high grades. You're a straight A student because you said so. Stop reaffirming that you're failing. Stop reaffirming that you're doing bad. The only reason you need or want your grades to change is because, number one, you're saying you don't have them, and number two, you're separating yourself. If you ever say in your entire life, I need this, I want this, I can't feel good until I see this, you are separating yourself. You do not understand that you're creating. The only reason you don't have it is because you're creating it. You're creating every circumstance that you're in. You are not separate from anything you desire. The grades already exist. Okay, the teacher changing the grades, that already exists. That version of them already exists. You just have to become aware of it. You just have to keep telling yourself that's who they are. You just have to keep telling yourself that's who you are. You have to get out of the mindset of not possessing it. That's what separation means, is it's not within me. It's not in my possession. I don't know how to get it. It's outside of me. It can never happen for me. That is separation. You're not separate. If you desire it, it's because it's already in you. Possessing has nothing to do with physical. It means understanding that it is yours and you're always moving towards it. There is nothing that you can do wrong. I don't care what action you did or didn't take. I don't care if you didn't study. I don't care if you failed. I don't care. You are always moving towards it because as you are changing your stories, reality is changing. So again, change your self-concept. It's not just, oh, I'm worthy. Oh, I'm smart. No, that, but also it's not separate from me. I already have it. I'm not defined by anything physical. I'm not defined by anything I don't define myself by. So if you don't identify as a failure or a bad student, a dumb person, then you're not that. Physical reality never tells you who you are. You tell physical reality who you are. Some of you do. Some of you see physical reality and create a meaning, create an attachment, but that's not physical reality telling you, that's you telling you. So pay attention to what you're saying. Stop saying it's hard to manifest good grades. It is not. You already have the good grades. You already have the good grades. You already have the good grades. Stop saying school is hard. Stop saying school is bad. Stop saying you can't have the grades. Stop saying, oh, it's the end of the semester, I need it. That's exactly why you don't have it, because there is only this present moment. In every present moment, what are you saying about yourself? You need to be saying, I have the good grades. I have what I want. That's it. And with that being said, that is all I have for you guys today. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please like, comment, and subscribe. Remember, you can have anything you want in this universe. Nothing's too big, small, wide, or expensive. I believe in you. You should believe in you. And I'll talk to you in my next video. Bye.